very happy to see all of you here. And today we are going to discuss a very, very important topic, relationships and the toxicity in our relationships. So, what do we understand or what do we mean by a relationship? Can anybody tell me what do we mean by a relationship? Anyone? What is a relationship for all of us? Yes, yes, Sanika.
uh, Connection between two people.
Okay. I love what you said. Connection between two people. Do we have a relationship only between two people?
No.
Then, what are the other
Connection.
definitions of
Mm,
relationships? What are the other definitions of relationships? Hello, Vidushi. Hello, Vanishri. Good morning. We are discussing a very important topic, relationships and the toxicity that we have in our relationships. So requesting people to have their videos on. And what is, I asked a question, what do you mean by relationships? And Sanika said relationship is something that we have between two people. And then I asked her whether we have relationships only between two people or is it also something beyond? I love what she said.
Definitely.
She did say the right thing unconsciously. It is a interaction that we have between two people, and the people is in my head. It is not outside of me. So when I'm saying two people, my interaction with you, because I know that you are a people, a person, my interaction with my environment, because I believe it is a people, it is alive and it is interacting with me. The environment is doing something to me, so I have to do something to my environment. So we attribute a lifelike quality to our environment, and therefore our interaction, our relationship with our environment can be toxic, can be positive, can be negative. Do we agree to this? And
Yes.
also my relationship with myself. And when I have a relationship with myself, and very importantly myself, because when I say I have a relationship with myself, I am saying that I am another person. I am not you and you are not me, and therefore I draw the boundary between me and myself. And that is why we have a relationship with myself. And that is why we are saying I accept this part of me and I do not accept this part of me. I love this part of me and I'm not this part. I am not this person. I am this person. When I go into that kind of comparison, or when I go into that kind of conversations about myself, that is when I'm having a relationship with someone else who I am not. Because if I'm having a relationship with myself, then there is no need for that boundary and that difference. No? Do we agree on this? First, are we clear on that we have relationships with three different kinds of interaction relationship? One is with someone else, one is with the environment, and most importantly, the one which I have with myself. Because the relationship that I have with myself will also define my relationship with you and with the environment. If I don't have a background of anything at all with myself, then I'm not afraid. Have you seen a small child cross the road? If there is no trauma or if there is no conditioning of an accident or be careful while crossing the road or consequences, the child is just running across the street. There is no fear of accidents or consequences. The consequences and the fear, all of it begins because of a past experience, and we do not want that. And then I begin to tell myself, oh, I don't want to be careless. That means I am saying I'm going to be careful. But then, are we not becoming synonyms? Are we not saying that by not being careless, I am depriving myself the right to be carefree? There is a difference between being carefree, careless, and careful. But when we are interacting either with ourselves or with the environment or with another person, we mess up with the definitions of carefree, careful, careless. And then we draw our boundaries incorrectly with people and with situations. Yes, no, maybe so. People don't get so serious. Although it's a serious topic, we can have fun. You're scaring me now. Vidushi, you're upside down. You need to change the orientation on your phone. Yes. No, no. You can change the orientation portrait to landscape on your this thing, and you can have the phone turned around.
Okay, done. I'll do it. I don't know how to do it, but I'll do it.
Okay, great. Good morning,
Yeah.
Sushil. So we are talking about the relationships and the toxicity. Now let's understand what is toxicity. Is every interaction positive? Is
No,
every interaction negative?
no.
Then how do we perceive that a relationship is toxic? How do we know that something is toxic? Yes, Sanika.
When something is not exactly going according to you, but it's not sitting with your values for a longer period of time,
Okay. Not even longer period of time. If
or
today Tushar tells me, Pallavi, you know
interactions.
what? Today's talk was not great. Huh? It was very boring. Toxic. Our relationship is only toxic. I'll throw him out of the house right now.
No, that's his feeling, that's his feedback.
What was Sushim says toxic for me would be something which makes me feel uncomfortable. Correct. Toxic means anything that makes me uncomfortable. It may be the right thing to do. Somebody does better off. I buy a new car and say somebody else also buys a new car. But their new car is better than my new car. And I feel jealous. I have forgotten that a positive in my life has suddenly become negative for me. Because I am looking at somebody else's car and comparing it with mine, and now I'm saying my car is not good enough. Because in my own head, I have defined what is good enough as the best. Good enough does not need to be the best. And best according to whose definition? It's my definition. Who is adding the toxicity to my life? Me. And then who am I blaming?
Others.
No, no, I'm blaming only Tushar. I
Okay.
married him only to play the blame game. The idea that I'm trying to portray, or what I'm trying to say here, is that usually we do not want to accept that I have added the negativity and the toxicity to my own life. If I am feeling toxic about something, it is because I have defined whatever is the interaction in my own head, the meaning I am drawing out of my own belief systems, the emotion that I'm feeling is irrational, and therefore I feel toxicity. And what does toxicity do to us? It takes away our happiness, it takes away our ability, it takes away my right to be happy in that moment. And what is the biggest toxicity amongst the three relationships that we spoke about? We spoke about relationship with self, relationship with others, and relationship with the environment. What is the biggest toxicity that we suffer with?
others.
The one which we have with ourselves. That is the biggest toxicity, because तुमको उस बंदे के साथ जिंदगी भर के लिए रहना है. Others के साथ you can throw them out of your house. Sorry, Tushar, I'm not throwing you out. I love you too much. I just use you as an example every time. But for people to know that I really love Tushar a lot. There's nothing wrong between our relationships. I just take him as an example every single time because he tolerates it. And the point is that it is important. It is important because you can draw your boundary between yourself and another, yourself and the environment, but it is very challenging and difficult to draw the boundary with yourself. And therefore, the biggest trauma or the biggest difficulty that we usually face is when we are conflicting with our own systems, our own internal system. To accept that, yes, I'm cruel, to accept that, yes, I'm jealous, to accept that I'm not really the ideal bahu or the ideal daughter or the ideal wife or the ideal mother also. And therefore, we have these kind of toxic emotions against ourselves. And how do we cope with this? How do we cope with such toxicity? With overcompensation. By giving ourselves proofs that, okay, I am not jealous. And then I give myself proof. See, this happened, I was not jealous. That happened, I was not jealous. Look, I did this also. I did that also. So what are you doing? आप अपने आप को ही समझा रहे हो कि मैं तो ऐसा हूं ही नहीं, या मैं तो ऐसी हूं ही नहीं. Look at it even in relationships. When we love someone, when we are expecting people to love us, to accept us, especially new relationships or relationships that are important to us, it often happens that if one partner is sharing that, oh, this happened, that one said like this is, I'm feeling bad about it. What is our immediate reaction to such a conversation? Now, you are not involved in it, but someone is sharing. Say, Krishna, your wife tells you that, look, ऐसा ऐसा किसी ने मेरे साथ बोल दिया and I'm feeling very bad. How would you react to that conversation? What would you say? Ideally. And this
Ideally,
is
I just
hmm.
ideally, ma'am, I'm always giving the logical solution. At the end, जाने दे, let it be.
हाँ, does she love you enough even now? Or does she say कि तुम तो समझते ही नहीं हो मुझे? You don't
Second
understand
one,
only.
second option,
There, see. What is she expecting of Krishna?
to listen.
She wants him to listen and to validate her feelings. Because she doesn't trust that about herself. When we are sharing something about a conflict we have with another person, am I really wanting to hear that it was my fault? Am I sharing something with Tushar to hear that, oh, it was your fault only? Or this is what you did wrong, you should have done this right. By the way, I do exactly this with Tushar. When he starts to share something with me, I do exactly this. I keep telling him how he is wrong in that interaction and why he is suffering in that interaction. See, look at that smile and the grin and the nod. The idea is that we are not seeking correction of what, or we are not seeking an explanation for why I am feeling what I am feeling. We are not seeking an answer to my emotional disturbance. I want somebody to say, yeah, you are right, the way you feel. Because, and why do I want, when do we need, seek validation? When do we go and share something with another person and we seek validation? When do we do that? Because I believe there is no just because in life. Everything in life is very purposeful. So when do we seek validation? When do we share something with another person? Best friend ke sath is when I am not convinced about what I am thinking and feeling, and I want you to agree, huh, Pallavi, what you are thinking and feeling is right. And now, what is Pallavi doing to her partner? No, no, you are wrong. You should not be feeling this only. You are responsible for your feeling. Is it not what an ideal partner should be doing? But then when a partner does this for 10, 15, 20 times, the next thing that happens is, I want to separate from you. I want a divorce. I don't want to be friends with you anymore. You don't understand me anymore. You are not validating what I'm feeling and thinking and emotions. Yes, no, maybe so.
Yes.
Yes, yes, yes.
The idea here is that understand where is the toxicity in any relationship. It is here. It is only here. Because I have made meaning to what is happening in the interaction. I have made meaning of what this person's intention is when they are talking to me or when they are interacting with me. I have defined yehi uska intention hai. We have not gone to clarify only कि intention कहाँ है, क्या है, क्यों है. And what is the easiest way to not feel the toxicity?
Run away.
No, that's not the easiest way. You're taking the toxicity with you. Run away is not the solution, girl. I wish it was.
Active listening.
Active listening. You know why Krishna knows all of these things?
कल
Krishna,
रात की
बताओ
बात
ना.
हुई
बताओ ना,
कल
बताओ
रात
ना.
को ही कल रात को ही हम 2 बजे तक ये इस पे बात किया.
Very good. Active listening. And active listening to whom?
To my partner.
All three aspects: self, the other
Very
person, and the environment.
correct. Active listening, very importantly, first with myself. First, listen to yourselves and say, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? Why? It's like you are feeling something factual. Feeling hai, emotion hai, feeling hai. You can't say, I'm not feeling this. That would be cheating. So, first acknowledge, yes, this is what I'm feeling. Why am I feeling it? Because the relationship that I have with this other person is so important to me that I do not expect this person to say things that might seem hurtful to me. And is that what the person's intention is? Definitely not. Because as much as this relationship is important to you, it is also important to the other person. We do not invest time and energy into a relationship that is not significant to us. People who tell me कि it's a formality करना पड़ता है समाज के लिए, bullshit. You are doing it only for you. You're not doing it for the samaj. You're not doing it because somebody else is going to be happy. There is no true altruism. You know what is altruism? Altruism is social service without having anything for me. Anybody who says that, oh, I am doing social service because I feel so nice, then you are doing it because you want to feel nice. You are feeding other people. I am feeding 40 dogs every day. That's because, do the dogs need me or do I need the dogs to feel mahan about myself? I need the dogs. Tomorrow, if I die, they will continue to live. But one day I don't feed them. I do so much of halla gulla with Tushar. But I've always maintained it with Tushar that feeding them is my need, not theirs, not yours also. So the idea here that I'm trying to portray is that it's very easy to blame the environment. It's very easy to blame other people. It's very easy to, we don't blame ourselves. Because in our own heads, and rightly so, because in our own heads, we are perfect people. We don't have imperfections. And also, when look at it ourselves, let's reflect upon ourselves and see if somebody says, okay, tell me what are your shortcomings or tell me your weaknesses. How many of us truly know our weaknesses? We tell people those weaknesses which are seemingly positive only. When somebody asks me, oh, what is your weakness, Pallavi? I will tell people, oh, you know what? I don't allow myself to rest only. What am I telling people? That I'm such a busy person, that I'm such an important person. I'm so busy all the times that I don't even allow myself to rest. Yes or no? Will anybody upfront come and say, hey, you know what? I'm very jealous. You know, when somebody says I'm very jealous, there is a disclaimer. You know, I feel very envious of that person because then I want to be like this person. I put that person on a pedestal and therefore I am jealous of this person. No, boss, I don't want to see you go above me. Do I have the courage to say that? I don't want to see you above me. Period. That will make me a bad person. Because in our value system, we were told I cannot be a bad person. We have been conditioned what is good, bad, right, wrong. And conditioned not only to us, but our parents were conditioned, their parents were conditioned, and those conditions have carried forward. Is it through our DNA? Of course not. It is through observation. When I see my mother behaving in a certain way in a situation, then I copy that. If I see my mother do something different in a different situation, I copy that. Or if it does not appeal to me, then I do exactly the opposite of what my mother was doing. But that is still conditioning. And then we say it is DNA activation. People say, are genetic hai, DNA activation. Bullshit, yaar. Science has not proved the validity of DNA for more than 30%. तो बाकी का 70% आता किधर से है? 30% is, it is all conditioning. It is how you learned from your great grandmother to your grandmother to your mother. And then you say generationally diabetes चलता आ रहा है, generationally BP चलता आ रहा है, generation नहीं boss, lifestyle वही चलता आ रहा है, and that is why the illnesses follow. Thinking pattern वही चलता आ रहा है, and therefore dementia follows. So the way your neurons are firing in your brain is dependent on how they were taught to fire when you were in the womb, right from the time you were a zygote. Conditioning तो वहां से है ना. And nothing right or wrong. You were the one who chose these set of parents. Because आपको भी तो कुछ ना कुछ सीख के आगे बढ़ना है. Your life purpose. But that topic for another day. Today we are talking about toxicity and relationships. मैं ऐसा हुक देते जा रही हूं हर बार. The idea is the more clear relationship or the more accepting the relationship I have with myself, the less painful it is for me with the external environment and also with the other. I always say you cannot give what you don't have. That is empathy. Also, you cannot give. Do you realize sometimes people give us empathy and you know it is fake empathy, it is not real. You just know that, oh my God, this is sugar coated. It is not real. It is not good. There are some people who say, oh my God, I'm so happy to see you. I was just thinking of you right now. No, boss, you haven't thought of me in the last 8, 9, 10 months, 1 year, 2 years. How could it be so much of a coincidence that you thought of me right now? And I don't hear it in your voice. Isn't it? The idea is that you cannot give what you don't have. What is the best way to reduce our toxicity? How do we not feel the pain or feel as little pain as possible? Ask yourselves, what are my coping mechanisms? My biggest coping mechanism is to eat. When I'm feeling empty, when I'm not feeling okay, when I'm feeling void, when I don't want to think, I order food and I eat. And most of the times I order non-vegetarian food. Why would that be? Tell me, why would I be eating okay, void eating is most what many of us do, but why do I crave for non-vegetarian food at that time? Why would a nice, nice vegetarian meal also would do, but it doesn't work for me. For many people, sweets is what is a go-to mechanism when they are craving, or fried stuff. For me, it is non-veg food. We are talking only purely from void eating. I'm only addressing void eating for now as a coping mechanism. I'll tell you my reason. For me, non-vegetarian food gives me a sense of aggression in my personality, gives me a sense of strength in my personality. And in that moment, I am feeling weak. I am feeling submissive. I am feeling that people aren't respecting me or giving me the respect I deserve. So when I eat non-vegetarian food, I'm like, okay, aja, chal, yudh karte hain. And where has that belief come from? From my
Conditioning.
from my conditioning. Because the conditioning is non-vegetarian people were people who went to war. It's a rajasic food. It gives you a sense of strength. As a child, when my mother went away and she kept me in with a babysitter and she gave me a glucose biscuit ka packet, I started to associate my comfort of not having a loved one around with sweets. And then I crave sweets when I feel empty, when I feel unloved, when I feel abandoned, when I feel rejected, when I feel I'm not lovable enough. Then I want to eat sweets. I want to fill in that void with sweets. People who eat fried stuffs, chips, potato chips, or any kind of chips or fried stuff, that is a celebratory moment. We used to eat fried stuff as a part of celebrations. And that means I deserve to eat this today. It's not celebration, it's about my deservability. Because fried stuff didn't come to us very easily, it came to us in occasions. So when people are filling in the void, they are trying to fill in the void with something that we call as deservability. When I have a challenge, again, not everybody who has a deservability challenge will eat fried stuff. But what does this fried stuff mean? What is the meaning of this fried stuff? What is the meaning of the non-vegetarian food? What is the meaning of the sweets that I am putting into my body when I am not feeling good about myself will define my coping mechanism. How have I coped? How did I overcome the pain as a child? I'm going to do the same thing in unawareness today if I'm not catching myself in time. Between me and Tushar, we have this contract that if he sees me void eating, he will ask me, what void are you filling in? And I do the same. It's not like we stop each other from doing what they are doing. We just bring our attention, creating awareness, because once you are aware, you will go towards wellness. The awareness that, oh, I'm binging on sweets. Oh, I'm binging on fried stuff. Oh, I'm binging on something. How many of us who feel that I'm not intelligent? Have you seen people who talk too much, or who keep explaining themselves too much, or who give information or gyan without being asked for? Have you encountered such people? That they just tell you more than what is needed. And what is the void that they are filling in? That is a coping mechanism. What void could they be filling in?
They feel unheard.
Maybe not, and maybe yes. But here, there is a deeper feeling. I don't feel intelligent. So let me show my intelligence. Let me show how much I know. Maybe as a child, I was not considered intelligent. I was not considered wise enough. My opinions were never considered. So now let me give my opinion and let people know how much I know. And if I'm not heard, then the coping mechanism could be I am not worthy of being heard. So then people will stop talking completely, and they form a defense mechanism. Only I will tell you, or I will speak only when you ask me 3 4 times. Or it could be that they keep talking. But people who just keep talking all the time are people who don't want to listen to themselves. They're afraid. I do that sometimes. When there is too much of noise in my environment, जब बैंड बाजा ताशा ढोल ताशे बज रहे होते हैं, मैं अपनी खिड़कियां और दरवाजे सब बंद कर देती हूँ और टीवी फुल वॉल्यूम में चलाती हूँ, एंड आई वॉच नॉनसेंस. एंड तुषार कीप्स आस्किंग मी ऑल द टाइम, पल्लवी बाहर इतना शोर है, व्हाई आर यू क्रिएटिंग दैट नॉइज इनसाइड द हाउस? I want to cut out that noise because I feel out of control with that noise. When I am out of control with that noise, then I want to be in control of the noise. And that control of the noise is where? On my TV. Because I have the remote control in my hand. So the feeling of I am not in control makes me so uneasy, so uneasy. It's not the noise, it is the feeling, the void that I am not in control. And that makes me so helpless that I want to have a noise in the house in which I am going to be in control. So do we understand what I'm trying to say? Am I clear? Am I trying to am I making sense that we understand how we overcome, or how we understand the toxicity that we are adding to our relationships? And the most important relationship is with me. The next question that we need to ask ourselves, one is to establish my coping mechanism. The next question is, when did I learn to cope like this? When life was out of control for me, when did I learn that having to be in control is the right thing? Where is the rule that says that life cannot be out of control? Where is the rule that says that Pallavi should not feel helpless? What is wrong in feeling helpless? We don't like these feelings. And do you understand that most of the times we don't even label these feelings correctly? When somebody asks me, what is happening to you, Pallavi? How are you feeling about the noise outside your house? Angry. I'm so angry that these people are making so much noise. Can they not celebrate more quietly? Why do they have to have band baja barat when they're getting married? ऐसा क्या उखाड़ लेते हैं शादी करके? This is my communication. Is that fair? And then मैं क्या उखाड़ रही हूं by creating the noise inside the house? No problem, Jui. Perfectly all right. We were enjoying that moment also. Am I making sense? Am I? How And when did Pallavi learn that helplessness or being out of control makes me helpless? So let me take control about my helplessness. And when did I learn that? Taking control of being helpless. I know that for myself, but that is what we have to establish for ourselves, each one of us. For me, I was around 3.5 years old when I saw my father standing at the window and cleaning the window. And I was trying to pull him down, ki Baba, ni khali hai, anna khali hai, you are going to die if you go out of the window. Because that is what I learned from my grandmother. Come down, otherwise you will die. We didn't have grills in our windows at that time. So she had taught me that if you stand in the window, you die. So for the 4-year-old, if my father stands in the window, he's going to die. And I'm pulling him down, I'm pulling him down. I can't pull him down. I am helpless. And what is the belief about this helplessness? Because I'm a girl, I'm helpless. How do I take charge? I become tomboyish. I am tomboyish. Nothing affects me. I am not sensitive. I am in control. I can do anything a boy can do. If a boy, and believe me, I have done all these ridiculous things. I've done horse riding, I've done mountaineering, I've done rappelling, rifle shooting, scuba diving. I've done all of this, which is not a typical girl thing from the 1970s. And so many times I've heard my relatives say, oh my God, she's like a boy only. And I used to take super pride in this. Absolute pride. Yeah, I'm like a boy. Yes, I'm like a boy. I'm in charge now. I'm not a girl anymore. I'm in charge. Why? Because girls are helpless. Do you understand the irrationality of the belief system? And in spite of being aware, I am still doing it when I hear the noise outside. The only thing is today I'm aware and I can choose not to do it or to do it in full awareness. I can choose another coping mechanism. Does it affect me as badly? No. Making sense? Yes, Sanika.
Is this something that comes under drawing boundaries with yourself?
Yes. It is, instead of saying drawing boundaries with yourselves, it comes more from acceptance of that self.
Okay.
Becoming accepting that, yes, I am helpless. And it's okay to be helpless. Not everything has to be in my control. Because helplessness is a situation or an emotion I need to feel. I can't say I don't want to feel helpless. Then I'm depriving myself one of the emotions I was born to experience as a human. Then I'm not doing 100% justice to the human that I was meant to be. I'm disowning that experience. I'm disowning that part of me because it felt painful then. And then I did not have a coping mechanism. Today I have variety of coping mechanisms. Vidushi is in deep thought. What's happening, Vidushi?
I'm listening to you very carefully. I like what you're saying.
Okay, thank you. People are switching off their videos. They're disowning me. एक एक करके मेरे को disown कर रहे हैं सब लोग.
So,
Either the topic is too huge or too intense. But I had given you a warning that it is going to be an intense topic.
I just want to say that, this, I've been through this before, my journey. A lot of things that you're saying, I've been through it, but, it comes with, this kind of awareness to know that you are in a toxic setup or a toxic relationship. It could be with your parents,
Yeah.
actually. And to constantly be on that thing requires years of inner work because
It's no, Vidushi, I don't
it
think
can't
it
be like,
requires, no, it doesn't require years. It just requires a will to change because often we struggle with letting go of our belief systems. and what I think is right. Because the minute I get into I am right and you are wrong, then the blame game continues and the toxicity continues. Because as long as I keep saying that you are wrong, I am right, you are wrong, I am right, we just keep going into right and wrongs and trying to prove the other wrong because I am to never wrong.
But
To
this,
say that, huh?
but you're, I know what you're saying, but to come to this space, to have
Yes,
this kind of understanding, first, so you have to become comfortable with yourself now,
yes, that is correct.
without
Correct,
any gach gach pach here, because it is what is inside is what is outside, right?
correct.
So वो feeling, वो I don't know how to say it, but वो वहां पे आने के लिए यहाँ पे बहुत calmness चाहिए to understand
Correct.
कि okay, ये तेरी story है, but to
Hmm.
be in that neutral zone where you don't even get
Hmm.
into this right wrong good
Hmm.
bad, or ये
Hmm.
बुरा है because इसने ये statement बोली which is not okay with me,
Hmm.
is vis-a-vis what happens with partners most of the time, but I feel it requires a lot of work.
It does. And not doubting it at all. We all, I think all of you who are sitting here today are showing that willingness to work on yourselves. Somewhere you know that, okay, तकलीफ मुझे है तो मुझे ही कुछ करना पड़ेगा उसका. I know. I'm aware Sushim has a question. What are the indicators he's asked to know that we are in a toxic relationship?
Pallavi, one thing. Suppose you
Yeah.
have a sister, a real
Hmm.
sister, who's you love, okay?
What
मतलब
is a real
थोड़ी
sister, girl? Unreal sister होती है क्या?
मेरी cousins भी तो होते हैं. Cousins avoidable होते हैं.
बट कजिन्स के साथ टॉक्सिसिटी कम होती है, रियल के साथ ही बहुत ज्यादा तकलीफ होती है.
हाँ,
हाँ.
true shit. So ये जो real sisters होती हैं, जो constantly किसी zone में होती हैं, and you know you got to look after them because sometimes you're the elder one, sometimes you're the younger one. In my
हम्म.
situation, I'm the elder one. So ये जो constantly जो negative space में जो बातें होती हैं, sometimes you manage to disconnect, sometimes you react.
हम्म.
You're not always perfect in that scenario because there's
करेक्ट.
love there, there's attachment there.
करेक्ट.
Sometimes they do hit below your belt. अंदर से तो पता होता है clearly that ये तो toxic setup है.
हम्म.
But to be constantly in that zone and saying you are wrong is wrong, right? Just asking you.
You don't need to tell them they are wrong, no? You just need to be aware that you have a different viewpoint which they are not ready to digest right now. ऐसा क्यों है कि we want to believe कि I know the right thing and you better digest what I'm telling you?
Hmm.
They also need time, no? Who is suffering in the toxic relationship?
Me. उसको तो कुछ
Who
नहीं हो रहा
should,
है.
exactly, who should change?
Me.
I'm coming to that question, Jaideep, about why people want to stay in a toxic relationship. But before that, I'm going to answer Sushim's question. Before that, I'm going to finish answering Vidushi's question. The idea is that why do I want her to live an ideal, perfect life, which is a myth?
True.
Let her be in her toxicity. When she wants to change her toxicity, she will. You have to ask yourselves what about her behavior bothers you and make changes to your thought about her behavior and how it affects you. And I know it's not easy because instantly we all get into reaction mode. Definitely we get into a reaction mode. But then afterwards, when I'm suffering because I reacted, I can sit back and I say, hey, I realize I reacted. Let me understand what is my trigger that made me react, because it's a trigger. You got triggered by that behavior.
Mm.
So this, now to continue with Sushin's question, how do you know anything that triggers you is a toxic relationship? When I'm saying trigger, the trigger can be positive, the trigger can be negative, both. Something that you say makes me super duper happy. And I'm extremely happy about what you said, what you did. We went out for dinner and we had the best time together. And I'm saying, oh, this is a night I will never forget. Hope we can do it again and again. And my God, I can live the rest of my life doing this with you again. Well, toxic relationship. You enjoyed it, perfect for today. And if it happens tomorrow, great. If it doesn't happen, great. Why am I dependent upon you giving me that experience again? I will not be happy, or I will choose to be less happy if you are not there to experience this again. So, when we say toxicity, positive toxicity and negative toxicity.
Mhm. Same way, same way that you say that Instagram keeps talking about this is positive negativity. What is it? That word. Pratik
It
and I
is,
were using it.
yeah, it is toxic positivity.
Toxic positivity. Correct.
Toxic
Thanks.
positivity
Thanks.
is different. Toxic positivity is different. Toxic positivity is you keep looking at things in a positive light all the time and not protect yourselves from the damage it might do to you. It's more in joint families. When you know somebody in the family is not okay, everybody in the family will support that not okay, but not want to change that not okay.
Well
दे
said.
कीप दे कीप कंटिन्यूइंग द नहीं ठीक है ना वो वैसा है हाँ ठीक है ना कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं हम लोग संभाल लेंगे वो वैसा है ये ऐसा कर रहा है वो वैसा नहीं ठीक है ना हम लोग देख लेंगे ही इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द फैमिली सो दे कीप कंटिन्यूइंग दैट्स टॉक्सिक पॉजिटिविटी you are trying to say that we are supporting somebody you are doing something but you are doing disharmony or you are doing injustice to the person by not helping this person grow in life that person keeps on holding on the homeostasis of the family, the balance of the family. Because अगर वो वैसा नहीं होगा तो आपकी अच्छाई नहीं दिखेगी. If somebody decides that, okay, I want to go out of the family and I want to do something like that, instead of respecting that for the child, you will say, no, 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 please join business, business. Join the family business. Don't go out. Don't go out. Join the family business. And that is not because it is not because of anything else. You don't want the family secrets to go out. And family secrets in joint families are held very tightly. Again, I'm not saying good, bad, right, wrong. I'm saying that is what toxic positivity would mean. That you are so positive about a situation that really needs to change that you are saying, no, it's okay. It's okay like this. We are going to take care. We are not going to let this wall fall down. It's okay to be like this only. Until it comes to a breakdown point. Have you seen within a joint family, yeah, toxic positivity, Tushar is reminding me, toxic positivity for another day, not today. Today we are talking of relationships, toxic relationships. But when we are talking of toxic positivity, we are talking of people. We are nice as a family. You see, oh, this family is hum saath hai wali family. But within themselves, there is a lot of bitterness. One person is bitching about the other person is bitching about the third. They are constantly bitching about each other to each other. So is that a true, comforting, real relationship?
No.
So then that is toxic positivity. Okay. To answer Sushim's question, anything that makes you feel uncomfortable or anything that is a trigger, which triggers you, which either excites you in some way or actually disowns you or discomforts you in some way, that is a toxic. The level or intensity of the toxicity is different. I'm not going to die because of the toxicity. It's a small, it'll give me a discomfort for some time and then it'll again become normal. But anything that makes me uncomfortable, that is not true, that takes away my authentic self, that is toxicity. Does that answer your question, Sushim? Hello? Sushim disappeared. Okay, cool.
He
So
showed us. He showed
yeah, he
a
showed a
thumbs up.
thumbs up sign. I saw. So understand that the best indicators is if I feel a negative emotion, or if I feel uncomfortable, if I am expecting someone to change for me, then that is toxicity. Because if I am not going to change in accordance to what the other person is wanting me to change, or if I'm going to make temporary changes and not permanent changes, then it does not make sense to expect that the other person is going to change for me. Okay. Then Jaideep had a question. What are the early signs of a toxic relationship? A toxic relationship, early signs, late signs, there is nothing like that. The sign is that if I'm not okay with a relationship, when I'm saying relationship with myself, with you, or with the environment, then that is toxicity. Becoming aware, and once I become aware, then what am I going to do about this awareness is another question. But first is becoming aware that I'm feeling toxic. Most of the times we just accept things and become helpless. I can't change my aunt no matter what. She should, at this age, she should understand this. She's doing this, or she's doing it on purpose. All this is toxic because I'm expecting her to do something at the age of 94, 95, without considering that her cognitive abilities are challenged, without understanding that she also feels equally helpless. So she's trying to control me, I'm trying to control her, and we are only playing a control game. And in this whole control game, I might win physically because she's dependent upon me. But does that make me happy? I'm not even considering her happiness. Will it make me happy? Then I feel guilty. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Oh, I should consider her emotions. Oh, I should do this. Because in my own head, I have judged myself of being a cruel niece to my aunt, Masi. There is a part of me which is judging me कि अरे दुष्टपणा करते है पल्लवी तू मावशीशी. And then I am only telling myself, oh, I should not do this. Oh, I should not do this. So then the parent in me is telling the child in me, you should not do this. You should not do that. Good girl. Parental tapes are running in my own head. And then I'm modifying my behavior. Then I'm overcompensating for the bad behavior. And I'm going to tell her, I love you. I'm sorry I said these things. I shouldn't have said these things. अरे पर ये नौबत ही मत आने दो ना. Am I making sense? So the question, does that answer your question? Signs of toxic relationships. Sign is that if I am not okay, I was not authentic, I was not myself, I was not my true self, I was the adapted self, or the coping mechanism kicked in. Becoming aware of these things and raising your awareness bar, consciousness. The more you raise your consciousness bar, the more happy you are because less repressed emotions, less baggage to carry on your shoulder and burdening your neck. Okay. Why do some people prefer to stay in toxic relationships? Array, that gives me the biggest chance to say I was right, you are wrong. मैं बेचारी तुषार के बोझ की मारी. I'm such a pavam person. My God, see how cruel my husband. The idea here is it allows me to be right. I told you so. It allows me to feel poor me. मैं तो बेचारी सीता माता. पर तुम रामयुग में नहीं जी रहे हो. तुम सतयुग में जी रहे हो. सतयुग नहीं, कलयुग में जी रहे हो. सतयुग में तो होते तो अलग बात थी. Do you see? I mean, I don't know how many of you have seen the earlier generation watching television serials, and when they see those television serials, they are associating themselves with the character who is the poor me. एंड दे स्टार्ट टू रेस्क्यू. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, कैसे कैसे बेचारी को परेशान करते हैं. ओ माय गॉड, दिस इज नॉट ओके. हाउ कैन सच अ नाइस पर्सन शी इज, व्हाई इज दिस पर्सन ट्रबलिंग हर. सास बहू वाला सीरियल्स देखो ना, Marathi serials that our family, or Hindi serials that our family members are watching. Look how the character that is poor me, because मैं उसकी जगह हूँ, लेकिन मैं अपना चार्ट ले रही हूँ. Poor thing, she should not be treated like this. Empathy lies with that person because we are associating ourselves with that person. We are resonating ourselves with that person. We never resonate with villains, do we? क्योंकि हम तो ऐसे हैं ही नहीं. है भाई, हम ऐसे हैं, but we are disowning that part of us. So the idea is people love to stay in toxic relationships because टेढ़ा है पर मेरा है, सिर्फ मैं ही इसको सुधार सकती हूँ. एंड देयर आर पीपल हु से, ओ माय गॉड दिस पर्सन इज सच अ हॉरिबल पर्सन, पल्लवी सिर्फ तू ही संभाल सकेगी इसको. एंड दैट गिव्स मी अ चौड़ा छाती, क्योंकि मेरा महानता दिखता है ना उसमें. So what happens is that we love these toxic relationships again only because मेरा benefit है उसमें. सामने वाला गया तेल लेने, it's all about, it is always about me. Whether I'm conscious and aware about it or I'm unconscious and unaware about it, but it is always about me, never about someone else. Does that answer your question, Jaideep? Thank you. Sushim, you have asked how to survive a toxic environment from which we don't have a choice to be away. Like a workplace, you have a choice to be away in a workplace, no? Draw boundaries. The whole topic of boundaries, we can draw boundaries. In a workplace, it is easy to draw boundaries than in other situations. If we are not able to draw boundaries, then we have to ask ourselves, is it my physical ability to not draw boundaries, or is it my emotional disability to draw boundaries, or is it that I'm giving too much of myself and I'm making myself too available? So drawing boundaries is an answer to a workplace. I think the most difficult to draw boundaries is with myself and with significant others with whom we spend our lives. Mother, father, brother, husband, bacche. There. Yes. Thank you. Any more questions? We have come to the end of our talk about toxic relationships. Like I said, we discussed more about the relationship with myself, because with others, I can draw boundaries. With my workplace, with my environment, with my significant others, if I have an argument or a fight with, say, XYZ person, I can stop talking to them, I can stop meeting them, I can go away on a holiday, or I can just say, I don't want to talk to you, talk to my hand. I can do all these things and draw boundaries. But when it comes to myself, it's the most difficult thing to draw boundaries. And therefore, we spoke about toxicity with ourselves. Any other questions? I hope we had a great talk.